Hey everybody, welcome to Up and Adams. I'm not in Vegas just yet, but we're going to kick off the party anyway. Saquon Barkley is on the show. Yes, he was supposed to be on live yesterday. No, he was not, but I caught him right after, and he's got things to say about his future, about what's making him tick, his lessons, his adversity. A little Daniel Jones, a little chicken parm as well, so we're going to get into all of that. Andrew Whitworth joining the show from my set in Vegas. Hamilton's there, Marissa's there, Eric's there, everybody's there but me. I cannot wait to get into the party. Will Levis stood me up at the draft, stood me up, did not show up. He's making it better today because he's going to be one of my first guests for this Super Bowl 58 journey. I'm so excited. So thankful to FanDuel for bringing me along. We have so much good stuff going on. Speaking of FanDuel and good stuff going on, Pick of Destiny, Gronk's on the show Wednesday. A couple special guests coming by, but we're going to start the make or miss analysis today with Robbie Gould, who's hanging out, of course, former Niner kicker. I want to talk to him about his career, about what he thinks is going to happen on Sunday, Jake Moody, the whole thing. And we're going to have a big show. Big show. I can't believe it's Tuesday on Up and Adams from New York. Not New York, Vegas. From New York. All right. I know you expected to see me, in front of some slot machines, drinking one of those big, yard things, like those necklaces with the drinks on them. I'll be doing that tomorrow. Trust me. On tomorrow's show, we will have Rob Gronkowski, Bert Kreischer, Derek Brooks joining the show. I believe we've got a mentalist magician that's going to just stir everything around. Tomorrow is going to be a party, and it all starts today with, like I said, Saquon Barkley, Will Levis, Taylor Lewan, Andrew Whitworth. It's going to be an absolute blast. Can we get, I know Hammer's getting mic'd up. Can I just get the live shot of what it looks like? I have not gotten my eyes on the, the Radio Row, Mandalay Bay, FanDuel of it all, but there it is. Hamilton sitting down. I'm not sure you can hear me yet, but it's looking good. I like the white shaggy rug. It's a good vibe. Hammy, how is it? Tell me everything.
Adjust volume with the knob on there.
Oh, it's amazing around here. Things are really picking up. Just saw Coach Brian Billick, Rich Gannon. They're all starting to pile in.
You're all starting to pile in. You're wearing your very best jacket. I can't wait. What have been the best sightings you've had so far?
The best sighting? Probably Bert Kreischer yesterday.
You texted me and said that you saw cool. Andrew Perloff. You saw Maggie Gray.
Oh,
You've
yeah.
seen
Andrew Perloff's, honestly, seeing stats in person was a big deal. I was a little too shy to go up to him and say hi yet. I'll work up the courage at some point, I'm sure.
Oh, come on. We got Saquon. We got Whitworth. We have Will Levis, Robbie Gould. And apparently I said, why don't we just put everybody on Zoom because we did just because I'm coming to New York. Oh, you know what, Hamilton? Somebody's at my door, so we're going to do this in real time. And then I'm going to do a fun little play.
Oh, boy.
Well, thank you so much.
Have a good day. Enjoy.
And we got some shopping bags. And Hamilton.
No shoes.
Ready?
Please don't hurt yourself.
And into Super Bowl week we go. I'm doing some fun stuff in New York. Great opportunity. I will be there tonight, though. Everybody, put the good vibes at the, air traffic control vibes are going to get me out of New York and into Vegas, and I cannot freaking wait. I'm ready to play pickleball. I'm ready to have some drinks with my team who's been working their asses off to make it look amazing out there. So we're super excited. And we sent Jordan, by the way, our social media voice, to media night, and he had a blast. He hung out, with Carrot Top and Guillermo.
Oh, he was crushing it. He was having the time of his life out there. He got to talk to Mahomes and Kelsey too. We're going to show a little bit of that later. That was an awesome experience to get to have him do that. I can't wait to hear more from him about what he saw last night as well. Please don't hurt yourself.
Perfect.
Please.
Sliding door. I'm not going to hurt myself. Okay. Anyway,
right through the Zoom.
We're going to listen, I have my boxed water. I have my random coffee. I'm juiced up. Let's get into it. Hammy, I know the crazy thing is I wanted to Zoom with everybody, but Taylor Lewan and Andrew Whitworth were both like, no, we'll still come. We'll come to the set, or they'll probably have Radio Row stuff going on. So I feel like such an asshole that I'm not there. But then, they get to sort of have their lay of the land and rule the castle.
Oh yeah, I've heard Taylor Lewan is planning on completely taking over the set and making it his own, and you're gonna have to probably fight him for it when you get here tomorrow.
Hamilton, I'm ready. You know who I'm ready for? Darius Butler. Your girl's been in the lab, baby! Your girl's been in the lab!
What is happening to you this morning?
I don't know. I'm excited because it's Super Bowl week. It's a big celebration. We work all year long covering these things. Now we're down to 2 teams with great stories. Yeah. Media night looked insane. I loved it. You know what Brock Purdy reminds me of? Brock Purdy reminds me of, like, does he just like drink a lot of tea and, like, you know those sayings on tea bags? He's a lot of that. He's a lot of like wisdom and sage quotes, like, you know, like, look at something bigger. You're part of something. Like, he drops these things that are on tea bags, like Aesop's fables, morals.
Yeah, it's true. He was. He seemed really appreciative of the moment last night. He was also not taking any of the bait. He went the safe route on a lot of these. But there were a couple things that he said that were a little bit spicy that we are going to dig into here in a little bit too.
Let's do it. Great segue by you. You're like, stop sliding, stop being crazy. You need to get on my level. I'm about to hit Vegas like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah.
You don't even know what's about to happen there at the Mandalay Bay. I want to go into the Dorito, the big Dorito. I want to see stats. I want to agitate him. I want to do all the things. We've got a big show, guys. Keep lighting up the YouTube chat. It is my favorite week of the year, and I was just telling somebody on the phone about NFL Honors, explaining to him what it is. It is the most magical thing to be a part of because everything is so celebratory and rewarded, and it's so much of on the field that you forget and remember and like loved. But most of it's about off the field and what goes on up here, and that's certainly stuff we're going to talk to Saquon Barkley, Andrew Whitworth, of course, Walter Payton, Man of the Year. Stalwart, and of course, you know, Taylor Lewan. You know, I told Taylor Lewan, he goes, how am I gonna? I go, how are you gonna find me? When are we gonna see each other if not today? And I told him that I was just gonna follow the empty trail of Zyn canisters around Las Vegas. Oh, my shirt's dirty. Anyway, okay, thank you. Good segue by you, Hamilton. Get on my level. Drink a Red Bull. Okay, let's talk about this. Super Bowl week is underway. Media night was last night. And this is very Vegas-y. You had the Blue Man Group. You know, where else can you get Isaiah Pacheco? And by the way, he did a great job posing with the Blue Man Group. There were Bruce Buffer intros. Those were epic, perfectly done. There, you know, like I said, I heard Carrot Top was in the building. I don't know, I said Carrot Top and not Carrot Top. That's an interesting emphasis choice there. But the tone has been set for a wild week to come. We wanted to dive into some of the things that we saw last night. I took some notes here, and I want to start with Kyle Shanahan. Kyle Shanahan, who was the topic of conversation last night for a lot of reasons. We'll ask Taylor about it, but here he is. Here he is giving his version of what is now known as sort of like the Brock Purdy story, and you know what we heard from Jed York last year about when they knew he was the guy.
It's funny to hear Jed say that because it wasn't the smartest moment I've ever had. I mean, when an owner comes in after training camp practices and it's like, hey, how's the quarterback? And what he means is the starter or the second. And you in irritation go, I don't know, but our third guy's the best. Like, that's not what he wants to hear. So that's why he remembers it very strong. But that was just more, Brock was so good right away with every rep he got. He was always the same. And he only got a couple of them. So it was easy for me to say, because in his few reps, he was the best.
Loosey-goosey. Into the juicy? I don't know, but we're going to talk about this Shanahan thing. I like this because he was as openly appreciative of his quarterback as I've ever heard him. Whatever is going on here, whether he like had a couple of beers or like whatever people are thinking and saying and like all that discourse, I don't know how much I care. Actually don't at all, but I like seeing a loose Shanahan heading into a big week. We talked with Stats yesterday. Something has to change. That moment, and in Super Bowl 54, he tightened up at halftime. We all saw it, and that was pretty devastating. So as much as we love it, you know, like we are so mad at him when he's salty and short, and then we're also like not going to be happy that he's enjoying the moment and maybe approaching it a bit of a different way. We want loose, aggressive, F-U Kyle Shanahan. Those are the 3 characteristics I'm looking for out of this play calling wizard on Sunday. We also heard from both quarterbacks as well. Mahomes and Purdy, you know, it's always awkward. They just like stand together and like be asked about each other. But Scott Hansen, brilliant. I texted him last night. Brilliant job by him as always. It's not hard. It's not easy to wrangle. I thought Michael Robinson crushed it. So NFL media does this event better than anybody. I miss being a part of it because it's so fun, but they killed it. So kudos to them, Mahomes and Purdy here, talking about the respect they have for each other.
I've seen Brock play since he was in college and knew how good he was. I watched him play. I watched Big 12 a lot, so I watched him play a ton. And he was a winner, and he made plays happen all through his college career. And usually when you can make it happen in college, no matter what your surroundings are, and to turn around a program like he did in Iowa State, you're going to make it happen when you get your opportunity in the NFL.
Yeah, I'm honored, man. Obviously, I've watched the guy play in the NFL, you know, since he really came in and started, and been a big fan of his, the way he competes and does what it takes to help his team win. So to be able to go up against a guy like that in your first Super Bowl, like it doesn't get any better than that.
I caught that, Brock. I love that mentality out of him. And I've thought about this throughout the year. What is it going to take for critics to shut up and actually show him respect? Him, other quarterbacks like him that are thought about or looked about a certain way. What can you do to change that? And I've come to the conclusion, and I did this all throughout the late fall, not even winning a Super Bowl, not even winning a Super Bowl MVP, which you'd likely get if the team won, no matter what happens, that isn't going to do it. Some people are still going to make it about the play caller, about his weaponry, the supporting cast, something that went wrong on the other side, penalties, Taylor. It'll be about something else. It won't be about giving him his proper due. For whatever reason, he is this polarizing cilantro / blue cheese of the NFL right now. But given that it's Mahomes on the other side, and he has the chance to sort of outduel, potentially outscore him, the undisputed greatest quarterback we have in the game right now, maybe that will convert a couple of people, get a couple of people over to his side, and then he'll of course remain the starting quarterback for some time there. It's interesting if they lose, is it Brock? Is Brock the future? That's the sort of razor edge. We talked about the passer rating above and below what he's done, given the context of history. Like he's on this edge of what can I gain? What can I not? I'm going to keep it pessimistic though. I don't think even winning in triumphant fashion changes how people see him. It's just the way the NFL goes. And by the way, tons of respect for the quarterbacks between each other. That's always great to see. But there's plenty of trash talking. There's plenty of grandstanding, I guess. I don't know what you would call that. Like there's plenty of confidence on both sides of these squads as well. Former Chief and current Niners All-Pro Charvarius Ward was asked to compare the two organizations, which is wild. And then we had some boos raining down on Travis Kelce from Niners faithful, who are the Super Bowl MVPs so far.
Oh, it's better over here. Better? Yeah, it's better over here. In what ways is it better? Every way possible.
And it's been an absolute. Y'all are firing me up, making me want to play right now, baby. I love the boos more than I love the cheers, baby. Keep them coming, Niners gang. Keep them coming.
Maybe don't boo the guy who all of a sudden looks like he's like 22, whippersnapper, all-pro legend at tight end, breaking all the records. Maybe don't do that. It was all in good fun, and we loved seeing it. But yeah, like did we learn nothing about what happened in Buffalo? Do not give Chiefs extra fuel. Don't do it. And I can hear the NFL film sideline already. The post-game locker room of Mahomes calling back to these moments on Sunday. We've seen it happen. Handle that accordingly, Niners fans who showed up and are so excited. And I loved BJ Kissel's take on that yesterday. He, of course, covers all things Chiefs. Like they're used to it. They're here. It's in and out. They're not showing up on Sunday before the game. They're going to roll in and probably leave early. They're used to winning these championships. We'll see if they can go back to back. We've got Saquon Barkley. We've got Robbie Gould on the show. We've got Taylor Lewan. We have Sandra Douglas Morgan on the show as well, team president for the Raiders. They have so many obligations, so much excitement going on with them. So I'm so happy to have her on the program as well. What else did I want to get to here? Oh, beyond the booze, we heard from a very thoughtful Travis Kelce about what a win would mean for him. And it's so interesting because we want to say records don't matter. And, the where they stack up, was it 17 weeks during 18 weeks or it matters. The historical context of this matters to the best players who want greatness.
There's a certain tier of teams in the NFL that have gone back-to-back, and, it's
I've been on a mission ever since I won my first Super Bowl. We made it back to the Super Bowl the year after 2019. Obviously lost to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That's motivated me to get back to this point right here. So you'll hear me say this a lot, but I want this one more than I've ever wanted a Super Bowl in my life. And it's because the type of team we have, the people that we have in this thing, but also because that tier of teams that have done it twice have gone down in history as some of the greats.
So he said, quote, he can't imagine not doing this as long as he can. But he also said, quote, it's something that you got to think about in terms of the twilight, the end, the retirement that is somewhere in his mind and ahead of him. He's clearly enjoying the ride, but in case he does win, and that does cement that place in history that he's talking about here, I wonder if it is a perfect, rare, players don't get this, a perfect Peyton Manning-y ride off into the sunset. And to put a wrap on opening night, we also heard Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes on Gronk's chances when it comes to what we're all excited about, the kick of destiny, part 2. Rob Gronkowski missed it last year. Will he make or miss it this year, guys?
Gronk is doing the kick of destiny for a second time.
I was about to say.
Make or miss. What's your...
Make or miss?
Yeah.
Man, I got faith in my guy, man.
Any words of advice for him?
I need... Man, just do you, bro. I know you put in the work. I see the commercials. You're growing out the beard. That's what I did to get here. You know what I'm saying? Gronk's an all-around athlete, man. Make TEU proud, baby.
I think he's got it, man. Knowing Gronk, man, I mean, he probably didn't practice at all, but I just have a feeling that he's just going to show up when the lights are the brightest and make it happen. That's just in his DNA.
I love how Patrick Mahomes handled himself yesterday. He was asked about his abs. He was all chill, and that's a scary Patrick Mahomes. Now, all of you at home can join in the fun and win an equal share of $10 million in bonus bets if you correctly pick whether Gronk will make or miss the kick. Go to FanDuel Sportsbook app to play. There are some very fun props up there. And speaking of that bet and bets over there, FanDuel has so many ways for you to end your season with a win, guys. Or 2 or 3. I was looking over these prop bets this morning, and there were some about the color of the Kool-Aid, like lime and lemon. I actually asked for a deep dive from our FanDuel partner, Chris McGolan, on what has the research done? And I think they might track what the teams use all year, because they'll probably want to stick with that, and they base the odds on that. Red for Gatorade has the longest odds. I'm getting into the nitty-gritty on all these things. You can bet on who's going to score an octopus, of course, a guy who scores a touchdown and then hits the 2-point conversion. There's so much to do. And new customers, if you join today, you'll get $200 in bonus bets if your first bet of $5 or more wins. So happy Super Bowl 58, everybody, from FanDuel, as we return here. Robbie Gould, Saquon Barkley, Taylor Lewan, Will Levis on the show. We begin with the president of the Raiders, Sandra Douglas Morgan, joining us. I wish I could be there in person, but we are so excited to welcome her to the show on a huge week for Vegas and the Raiders.
Is it awkward at all having the Chiefs in the facility, having their paint here, that kind of thing?
Well, as I was telling everybody, that, you know, the Chiefs and the 49ers are my two favorite teams, other than the Raiders. So, hey, listen, they earned it, and that's why they're here.
That was Raiders owner Mark Davis on opening night. My next guest is the team president that he brought in to help lead his Raiders back to the big game and back to greatness. Raiders team president Sandra Douglas Morgan, good morning. So nice to meet you.
Good morning, Kay. Thanks for having me.
I'm so glad to talk to you. It is such an epic week. Talk to me about the energy shift that has happened in Vegas as the football world descends upon it.
Yeah, I couldn't help but laugh kind of seeing Mark's clip. But, you know, last night was amazing. We had our opening press conference, and I'm also on the host committee for the Super Bowl. So that's been great, just seeing all the amazing things that's going on in the city. Really something for everyone of all ages, all demographics, any type of price point, and really seeing the long-term impact that the Super Bowl is going to have here in Las Vegas. But having our stadium open for opening night, which is very rare, it's my understanding hasn't really happened before, and just having people have access to the stadium that maybe typically haven't been able to go to a concert or a game. It was a really fun and high level energy night last night.
Usher anywhere over there practicing?
I didn't see him. I'm sure plenty of people were on the lookout, but I didn't have any. There were no Usher sightings last night.
It's amazing. So as a part of the host committee for Super Bowl 58, of course, it's in your backyard, a building you know in and out, a city you know in and out. You know, being there last night, very special. What else can we expect? Fans coming, fans of all kinds, all ages.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's a Super Bowl experience that's going to be at Mandalay Bay, and that is something that's very family friendly, you know, different activations for 40-yard dashes and just people being able to meet different players and having other events. There's going to be events throughout the valley as well. Like, for example, we'll have a press conference later on today to show the legacy grants to different nonprofits that are going to be given throughout Southern Nevada. So that really kind of affects the long-term impact. The host committee is having, you know, media parties and different events at the F1 paddock. Goodness, there's events up and down, you know, the Las Vegas Strip into the downtown area. So there's something for everyone. There's the NFL, you know, 25th anniversary of its Soulful celebration. There's Taste of the NFL, just a nonstop kind of an amount of events. I think that anyone of all ages can really partake in and enjoy.
And I always think it's so fun. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm a Las Vegas local, right? I've grown up here. I've been here ever since I was 2 years old. And so just seeing so many people, not only, you know, obviously come into our city because we welcome 40 million visitors a year, but even locals and residents being able to kind of attend these events and thinking honestly that we'd never have a Super Bowl because of, you know, some of the concerns about gambling. And now people realizing that this town is much more than gambling. We're the entertainment capital of the world. And there's obviously fine dining, events, concerts, you know, it's something again for everyone. So it's really kind of, I'm just proud to see our city kind of finally being embraced by so many.
I was there a couple of months ago for F1, and it was such a warm hug from Las Vegas, organized beautifully, glamour, glitz, stars, food, all coming together. It was, so I can only imagine what the NFL is going to do, given the same opportunity to welcome everybody in. It seems like a lot. Like Vegas on a normal weekend is like excess, and that's what it's supposed to be. Do you have any advice for anybody coming, or like one thing that everybody has to do as they come to Vegas this week?
That's a good question. Gosh, I think that
restaurant. Now, Sandra, you're a local. I'd love a restaurant recommendation even.
Oh my goodness. Well, I'm a local, so I go to the Strip when I have someone coming to visit, right? I would definitely go to Chinatown. It's on Spring Mountain. So it's not too far from the Strip. It's about 10 minutes away. And there's going to be restaurants up and down Spring Mountain and kind of Jones Boulevard. Those are all incredible. I love J Karaoke. It's a little splash of kind of Korean food, and you can have some karaoke in a locals environment. I love Korean food. I'm half Korean, so that's definitely a place I would push. And then Grits Cafe is actually in West Las Vegas. And that is, you know, you'll have a chance to kind of be maybe 15 minutes from the Strip. It's in the historic West Side community of Las Vegas, and have some comfort food.
Now, it's all fun and games, but it takes so much work. You're part of that, even with the Raiders. And you guys have this, there's more on you to make sure everything goes well. What, to you personally, as team president of the Raiders and being part of that host committee, like, what do you measure success by? What will be success for you when you finally breathe that sigh of relief, hopefully sometime Sunday?
Well, Mark has talked about, and even the commissioner talked about yesterday, about his vision in bringing the Super Bowl here to Las Vegas and obviously making sure the Raiders were here first. So if the Raiders weren't here, if Allegiant Stadium, which is a world-class stadium, wasn't here, we wouldn't be able to host the Super Bowl. So we see this as our kind of coming out party, an opportunity to show all of the teams, because, every team hasn't played here yet. Every fan hasn't been here yet. A chance to kind of come into our home and see why we've consistently been at the top of the Voice of the Fan surveys and consistently been at the top of the Billboard box office scores, because we know how to treat our fans and our guests. And that's what I really want people to come back and think about, to think, hey, maybe I should go check out that concert in Las Vegas at Allegiant Stadium, or maybe I should go check out that soccer event because we were treated well, hospitality was at its finest. And, whether it be our headquarters or our stadium, there's truly state-of-the-art facilities, and that's what we're really proud of. And ultimately, hopefully, all of this will get to a point where we can just win.
I love that. And just win, baby. I mean, that's a great answer. I've never been there. I cannot believe. I think it's the only state. I wanted to save it.
Oh, an invitation. We'll just.
When I was there for F1, I think there was a Raiders Packers game, and I was like, I should go to this. And I was like, no, I want the full Vegas right now. And then it'll just like rip the Band-Aid. And I'm sure I'll be going back and back because it's so incredible and there's so much to do. But you mentioned just win, baby. And we heard that bite from Mark. The Chiefs are in your building. Yeah, Mark seems okay with it, but I mean, there's a tale of a Raiders fan, construction worker, a Chiefs fan, literally burying a Chiefs flag under the stadium. How do you reconcile having the Chiefs in the building?
I was going to say my connection's starting to weaken right now, but that story is not true about the fan that did that. I actually heard that someone actually went and grabbed it before it actually happened. So, look, good buzz, I think, for the Super Bowl. And, I guess to Mark's point, they earned it and they're here. Obviously, would we have preferred us be in it? Of course, I think any team would. But we're here and we're going to make sure we're good hosts and make sure that everyone that's at the stadium is going to have a good time, obviously in conjunction with the NFL and the host committee.
I like working with Mark Davis.
Oh, Mark's incredible. Mark's passionate. I mean, he lives, breathes silver and black, right? I mean, he's grown up in the organization. And so it's more than just, a business investment for him. This is his team. People have been at the team for decades. He knew with the move to Las Vegas that we would have to kind of reintroduce ourselves to a different market, a different community. And so his love and passion for the alumni and the people that really kind of put it all on the line to make sure we were at a point to move to Las Vegas, to make sure we were a successful franchise. That's why the history of the Raiders is so important to him. Our alumni is so important to him. And honestly, the people of the organization. It's all about players and people first. And to know that that's going to be the front of his mind and the fans with every decision he makes, it makes us all really, obviously buy in and support what we can do to make sure our team is successful and can grow.
You strike me as someone who could do whatever you want, like get a job, whatever that is. Now, back in 2022, you're at the Super Bowl in Los Angeles. And you have a special moment. That's where Mark Davis made his sort of push to hire you as team president. At that point, you were on every major athletic board and commission in Las Vegas. You were doing your thing. What was it about Mark's, I guess maybe it's his passion, like you're talking about. What was it about this franchise that pushed you to go all in with the Raiders?
He actually made a comment. I don't think it was like a big push at that time, but I do remember being in Los Angeles and obviously I served in some public sector roles and were on some boards. And I just said, hey, Mark, thanks for bringing the team to Vegas. And I can't believe we're having the Super Bowl. This is great. We're going to kill it in a couple of years or something like that. And he said, Sandra, you're always telling me no. And I thought, okay, I didn't know how to take that. But his, point was he wanted me to be involved somehow in the organization. And I was just very flattered by that. He kind of said it in a joking way. And then, fast forward about a year or so. And he said he wanted to have a more serious conversation about, more kind of permanent role in the organization. And I was flattered. Again, this is my hometown. The Raiders are such an iconic brand. My husband's a former NFL player. So to know what an NFL team can do for the city, for its economy and for its growth, it was just, honestly, I can't say a dream come true because as a young girl, I never would have dreamt to even be in this position because I didn't have visibility to it. But, when we sat down and talked and I saw his passion, saw his love and him just really wanting to make sure this team was going to grow in Vegas, obviously the answer was going to be yes.
Well, how did you guys do it? How would you sum that up? Because I remember when it happened, I was on Good Morning Football and it's the move to Vegas and there's such a jolt and a change. It's not easy. And especially in sports, things just aren't very as progressive. It's a hard change sometimes, but you've really done it so successfully. And I don't think it's talked about enough that it's really been embraced by this fan base, one that was so connected to where they were.
Yeah, and we want to make sure we are supportive of all fans, and this is regardless of where they're at. Obviously, the Raiders have such a huge fan base. They travel incredibly well. We see them at every stadium that we play in, and so we really want to make sure that we're connecting with everyone. Obviously we want to grow the local fan base, but Las Vegas is different. It's obviously growing. We're at about 2.5 million, so it's a very small market, and most of these people have moved to Las Vegas within the last 10 years. So we have to connect them, one, to our city, and then obviously to our team. But we want to make sure we have, continue to have roots in Southern California and obviously in the Bay Area and in every single state in the U.S. We track all of that, and we want to make sure that we're engaging with customers and our fans where they are. But for Las Vegas, we did our first community impact report. It focuses on sustainability. It focuses on our dedication to the community and alumni, and having a good, strong, workforce where people that want to work for the Raiders, it's because they love to be Raiders. And I really think when people know what we're about and know what we're doing and why we're doing it, it's easy to be a Raider fan. We welcome everyone, regardless of race, creed, color, age. So it's a great place to be a Raider. It's not for everyone, but for those that do it, we're going to do it with passion.
Can't wait to be there on Sunday, Sandra. I truly cannot wait. And all the little things you mentioned, community and sustainability and all of that. Like, that's another thing the NFL and the Raiders do really well this week that sometimes can go underscored. There's a lot of Walter Payton Men of the Year out there doing their thing. The Raiders, I'm sure, hosting community events to put some goodwill out there. Wounded Warrior Project has partnerships with the NFL. They're doing a lot of things to thank our service members for all of their work all season by giving them Super Bowl tickets. It is just a beautiful week of celebration. If we can talk a little football, your team presidency, you're in these rooms, you're making these decisions, you're Antonio Pierce. When you're around him, what is the energy like, and what makes you think that this is the right choice to lead this team to the promised land once more?
Right. When you see AP, what you see is what you get. This man is on 10 and incredibly positive and motivating, at all times. And he's, what I don't want, and I got to say this because I want to have his back, obviously, is that passion doesn't mean, and he's thoughtful, right? He thinks and he's very critical, and he's critical in his thinking and analytical, and knows the team, knows what it means to be a Raider, knows what he wants it to look, sound, and feel like, and is very intentional in that decision-making process. And then on top of it all, he's just an incredible person and a great motivator. So I'm really happy for him. I'm glad that, we're kind of able to move forward. Obviously, I don't think anyone, wants an interim tag and to kind of have that mid-season, but he took it and literally said, you know what, if I'm your guy, I want you to make that decision, and I don't want you to lose any sleep at night because I'm going to give 110%. And he does. On a more, on a different note, obviously he's rallied, the players. You've heard from Mark about the alumni and our stakeholders, but honestly for business operations, right? And that's where I'm really focused on. I manage over 250 business employees that handle corporate partnerships, sales, marketing, everything else. Within, I would say, 16 hours of him getting that head coach position, he went and talked to all the business operations employees and had them come together. And I remember saying, AP, we have the Giants. Like, I want you to focus on that in your team. And he was like, no, I want to do it. And everyone, that whole building, I'm talking like finance, HR, every single piece was like, you could hear a pin drop. So that's the type of person he is. He's a leader. And I'm really, really excited, not just for the offseason, but for the season coming up. He's incredible. And I'm glad he's leading our team.
Raiders Giants was quite a game as well. Last one for you, because I have to ask, you're sitting there at 13 in this year's draft. Do you see this team moving up to make a splash in what it seems to be, I haven't done all my research yet, a very quarterback-heavy draft class?
I'm going to leave that to our trusted general manager, Tom Telesco, who I have all the faith in the world. And I know Tom is going to be masterful at whatever the Raiders decide to do.
It's an amazing answer to a question. Good luck to Tom. Good luck to Antonio. I mean, Cliff Kingsbury, it didn't work out. Luke Getsy might be there. Maybe we'll have an answer by the end of Super Bowl week. But right now, it's all about celebrating Vegas, celebrating Allegiant Stadium, all of the hoopla and the hijinks and the gravitas that comes with that. I'm so happy to meet you, Sandra. And good luck. I hope it's a success by your measure.
Thanks, Kay. Happy to meet you as well. An open invitation to Allegiant Stadium.
I mean, I'll see you on Sunday. Sandra Douglas Morgan, everybody, team president for the Raiders. After this, we will have Robbie Gold. We'll size up these kickers. How about Saquon Barkley joining the program? Taylor Lewan, Will Levis. We'll do some crossover talk with those two. We'll talk a little Titans, a little NFL storylines. Was Kyle Shanahan drunk? The whole thing. We'll be back.
plays for three.
Oh, a nice flashback to 2020. It seems long ago, but it really wasn't. That's one of the kicking greats. And he's on our show now, going from undrafted, what a story, to the league's 10th all-time scorer. He's, I don't know, all-pro with 18 seasons under his belt, 6 with his Super Bowl, I wouldn't say they're Super Bowl bound, they're Super Bowl here, San Francisco 49ers. He has never, ever missed a kick in his postseason career. How is that possible, Robbie Gould?
I really don't know, but man, it was a fun run for 18 years. There's no doubt about that. You know, it's kind of bittersweet. I'm happy for my old teammates, the 49ers, of making this game, because I know they've been knocking on this doorstep for a few years. You know, we played in last 3 of the 4 NFC championships, had a couple plays that we probably could have played in more Super Bowls, frankly. But I'm happy for the guys and excited to be here with you today.
Let's dig into this bittersweet word that you just used, because I've been thinking about this a lot this morning and yesterday when I found out you were coming on. And thanks for your time, and I hope you're enjoying it. And retirement, of course, congratulations. You decided to hang up in December. What has that been like? What is this like for you?
You know, it's interesting. You know, it's been fun making the decision to retire. I've really enjoyed retirement. Obviously, you still follow the guys that you played with or played against pretty closely. You know, it's the playoffs. This is the time where legacies are made, and it's been fun to watch Brock Purdy throughout the entire season play as well as he did, just being close to that team and to him over last year. You know, he doesn't get the credit I think that he deserves. And then the team, you know, they came back from a big deficit against the Detroit Lions and obviously came back with a comeback win against the Green Bay Packers, and now they're going against the Kansas City Chiefs. So, you know, I hope they win. I hope they get the Super Bowl ring that I know the city and the Bay Area of San Francisco, they deserve. And these guys, listen, they've been building this roster for years to have an opportunity, and I think not only do they have an opportunity this year, but they have an opportunity next year to do the same thing and be able to retain some of the guys and get back to this exact place next year, barring that they stay healthy and things bounce their way.
I think it's perfect how you're saying it. It's a business world. You have spent 6 years there. Then we, of course, draft Jake Moody. I mean, you deciding to retire in December strikes me, and I don't talk to you. Strikes me as like you maybe thought you would get a call during that season. Did you get calls? Like, did Lynch potentially call you? Because it's been a little up and down
Yeah. We got calls the entire year, even up to the playoffs. I just knew that when I made the decision, it wasn't a decision that I got up in the morning and said, hey, I'm going to retire. There was a big, long, thoughtful process to that. Being family, football opportunities, where that would be for me to maybe win a Super Bowl. You know, talking about legacy, what that was going to be if I came back to play. And it got to a point where 4 weeks wasn't going to change that legacy enough for me to come back and go away from my kids and my family. You know, the cool part about Jake is Jake and I have the same agents. And I remember talking with Jake when he was deciding to choose between agents. And, you know, I think really highly of him. I think he's had a really nice rookie campaign. And, you know, obviously the playoffs has been a little shaky for him. But I think, you know, knowing Jake and his personality, he's going to be ready for the Super Bowl.
I mean, I can't imagine I don't know if you're on Twitter, but what your mentions might have looked like during the first half of the NFC Championship game, fans being what they are. John Lynch even talking about sort of a slim margin of error ahead of the Super Bowl, saying, quote, I think he's ready for the moment. And he would have to sort of play perfectly in this game. How confident are you in Jake Moody in this game with these conditions under these bright lights when he's a rookie, didn't get much experience, the Niners don't kick very much?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think the big part about, you know, if you've watched his season, he bounced back from the 2 misses in Cleveland, went on to have a really good string of not missing. Then, you know, he had a miss, I think, week 17 against the Rams, and then has kind of missed the last couple games. But, you know, knowing, you know, the career that he's had, listen, he's coming off playing in a semifinal game for Michigan, which is similar to this type of environment. I think he's going to be up for the challenge, and I think I've seen him bounce back. And as a kicker, you're always rooting for him.
How does this work? So you retire in December. You're saying you're enjoying retirement. I'm giggling because it's been like 2 months. We'll see how long you can stay away, Robbie. But I know you have a lot going on. Could you come off cold right now? What would that look like? Like if you had to go into a high pressure post, ever missed a kick, like what would your average be by whatever metric matters?
Field goals, I'd be fine. I've done it long enough where, the rhythm would take me a little bit of time to do. Kickoffs would be a little bit of a different story. I think you have to train for kickoffs, obviously, a lot differently than you train for field goals. But, it's something that just doesn't go away. Now, you talk to me in 4 years, I haven't touched a football, it's going to be totally different. But I know I could probably come out and play at a decent level. Could I play at a mid-season level right now? Probably not. But I know field goal wise, I could step in and do that at any point, just because I've been doing it for most of the year.
You look at your story and it's so brilliant, and congratulations on such a tremendous career. And I look at Brock Purdy and it's not big expectations, not the panache, the pedigree of I'm the first rounder or whatever. And now he's playing in a Super Bowl, yet somehow he's not being celebrated universally. I think that's fair to say. When you look at Brock Purdy's story, or even just how he plays on the field.
I think the big thing for Brock is just how humble he is. I mean, if you watch the quote he had yesterday sitting at the podium, and he's like, football isn't about you, it's about being a part of something bigger than you. And I think that just embodies who he is as a person, and what a kid who was raised by his parents to think exactly that. And, I think that's why a lot of the teammates gravitate to him. I think that's why he's had a lot of success as an athlete, because, he always stays humble. I mean, listen, this guy went from being the last pick of the draft, the third string quarterback, to starting at an NFC championship game now 2 years in a row and having a great winning percentage. So, that's really difficult, I think, in the game of football and the National Football League, to not lose sight of who you are as a person. And it's been really impressive to watch how he's handled that and maintained not only how humble he is, but the integrity of the type of person he is, and not let it get to him.
It's not really it doesn't seem like he's letting that big moment get to him. We've seen Kyle Shanahan in big moments. You've seen him up close and personal. You were a member of that Super Bowl 54 team, of course, that fell to the Chiefs in Miami in 2020. Shanahan, a lot being made of him, a lot being made of his legacy, a lot being made of that game where he sort of tightened up a little bit at halftime, a lot being made of him maybe being loosey-goosey drunk last night at media night. What do you make? What do you read when you watch these clips of Kyle Shanahan as far as his approach? And was he in the sauce last night?
Well, here's the thing. I think Kyle is one of the most brilliant coaches in the National Football League. Watching how he prepares the team, from understanding what it's going to take to win, to really getting the guys to buy in with film and the game plans. Kyle is able to put guys in positions to be successful without them really truly knowing it. I think the big thing for this game is, I think whoever at the defensive line, whichever team plays the best, is going to have an opportunity to win the game. And I think the defensive line position is key, because, if you can get pressure to the quarterbacks, it might be a turnover or an opportunity on special teams to change this game. And I think, Kyle will come in with a great game plan. He's been here multiple times. I mean, shoot, he was a ball boy, I think, with Christian's father, and when Mike and John Elway and those guys were going through their multiple Super Bowl runs. So, Kyle's very familiar with this. I know the Kansas City Chiefs are very familiar with this, especially with their recent success. So I think this game's going to be one for the ages, and I think it's going to be an awesome one for the fans to watch.
Who's winning the Super Bowl?
Oh, man, this is a tough question for me. This is tough because I know that Kansas City has had San Francisco's number. I know Kyle has never beat Andy Reid. since he's been a head coach. You know, I think the San Francisco 49ers win this in a close one.
Wow, I was asking myself this whole time, I wonder what gets like where you're hesitant. I wonder what world of life, since you're so like ice in your veins, no problem, boom, 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 kick, kick, kick. It's making a decision on who's going to win a game.
Yeah, you know, this one's hard because it's such two great teams. You know, how do you go against Patrick Mahomes? But you love the story of Brock Purdy. You see what the defense in San Francisco has done all year long. Now they haven't played up to the standard that I think they have, which I think will motivate them. I think there's this raw emotion of, you know, not being able to beat the Kansas City Chiefs, as well as pairing that with the emotion of losing a few years ago to the Chiefs and really, frankly, giving that game away. Now, Kansas City earned it, don't get me wrong. We just didn't execute down the stretch. So, you know, I think this storyline of this game has a lot of motivation on both sides. You know, I think there's a legacy play here for Kelsey and Mahomes, and I think this is a chance for Kyle to get over the hump, to not go back to the Atlanta Super Bowl when they were leading and they gave up the lead there, then the Kansas City game. I think this is an opportunity for Kyle to you know, cement his legacy on how great of a coach he is.
Either that, or he'll be known as the Boozy Susie from Media Night that couldn't get it done, and he'll be remembered for the backpack playbook situation from back in the day that I'm sure he's not wanting to talk about right now. Here's what I want to talk about. Listen, Robbie, your girl loves a DiGiorno pizza. Ready in like 12 minutes.
I do.
I do. Tell me what you're doing with DiGiorno and why are you doing it and not me? We should be doing this together. I eat more DiGiorno than anybody.
So here's what's cool. My family, we do Pizza Fridays at our house. So I have 3 boys. And DiGiorno, for the second year in a row, they have, and this is a terrible word for the Chicago community, I know, doink. But they're doing a campaign where they're doing DiGiorno Doinks, which is people can register at DiGiorno, I know, DiGiornoDoinks.com. And if the ball hits the upright or the crossbar, and as a kicker, I hope that it goes in, it'll give people a chance to win free pizza. So as unpredictable as we know that the playoffs and kicking has been over the years, this is an opportunity for everybody to enjoy the big game with some pizza and obviously cheer for the ball to hit the upright. But now, as a kicker, I wanted to cheer for it to go in as opposed to going out.
I hear you on that. I cannot believe it's called Doink. I'm a Chicago girl myself. That just hurt me deeply. But fans can enter for a chance to win free pizza from DiGiorno if it kick Doinks off the crossbar. Like he's saying, you can go to DiGiornoDoinks.com. Robbie, you are an absolute legend. We appreciate you. And I hope the news bite from this is that you could walk off cold and kick a 60-yard field goal right now.
I don't know if I have 60 in me, but I'll give you for sure 58. How about that, huh?
You could kick a 58-yard field goal right now?
I think so, yeah, I think so.
Let's effing go, Robbie. Love it. We'll see if John Lynch online. We're kidding. We love Dick Moody. We hope it all goes well for all of them. Okay, so 8 days away. You enjoy your DiGiorno time. Listen, by the way, everybody's going to ask you what you think about the game, so you might want to have an answer worked out on that one, Robbie.
I know. You're the first one to put me on that spot today. I've been able to navigate without having a prediction of who I had to pick.
You know what I did?
Yeah, so listen, I think it's...
Robbie, last year on one interview, I would say Eagles, and the other one I would say
one
Chiefs.
team.
Eagles and Chiefs, and guess who noticed?
I'm in a conundrum though, because you know it's my old team, but it's hard to bet against the Mahomes, you know.
Wow.
And then you have all the Swifties and all that.
Oh, your kids, Mahomes kids, boys. You have 3 boys, Mahomes or Purdy. Be honest.
They're big Purdy fans and 49er fans just because we, obviously, one of the things that we did in San Francisco, which was cool for my kids, on Thursday nights we would get the equipment guys together and we do pies for the guys. So I'd buy pizza, my boys would come in, they would help the guys get ready for the game. So they are around all the guys, and until this day, they still say my buddy Fred Warner or my buddy George Kittle or my friend Brock Purdy. So. They still have a soft spot in their heart for all those guys, and hopefully they get their Super Bowl ring.
You missed a perfect time to plug DiGiorno. You guys had pie, DiGiorno pepperoni garlic bread, DiGiorno pizza night.
I know, right?
You will be back after the Saquon Barkley coming up. Will Ellis is on the show. Taylor Lewan, Andrew Whitworth, everybody's here for a party. Please don't destroy my set, guys. Saquon's in a beautiful mansion somewhere in Jersey. Holy macaroni. All right, FanDuel TV, we are bidding you adieu. We will keep the party going. Like I said, 2-hour shows on the YouTube all week long. Tomorrow, we've got Grunk, we've got Bert Kreischer. I need like a keg to do keg stands. I don't know if we're marrying somebody or not. The Mentalist on the show. We're going to keep the party going. Yes, the set is live and active. Taylor Lewan is joining us in the second hour. Andrew Whitworth joining us. Saquon Barkley joining us. We'll be right back. There's Taylor. Taylor, don't you destroy my set. Don't you do it, guys. Go to YouTube now.
He said it was good.
All right, now we're live on YouTube. Hello. What's up, Hammy? Hammy, why would you take your microphone off? Why would you take your earpiece out? I need you. I need you, buddy.
No, I'm here. I'm here.
Oh, you're there? Cool.
Yeah.
Can we do splits with Can we do splits with our boy Hamma?
How do I put this in?
Hey.
I mean, Taylor on time.
Okay.
Adam's not on time.
Taylor
We're running
here.
a little.
He's
running
ready
a
to
little
go.
late. There's Marissa. No, you're on the set. You're on the steady cam. I don't think you can see it. Look to your right. That's that camera.
There we go.
There we go. Show me around a little bit.
We're making it happen.
Give me a little. Take me around. There's Eric behind you.
Yep. Eric,
Hamilton,
we got
walk
Taylor
around.
here. Will Compton is out there
No,
too.
I wanna walk and talk. I need a Hamilton walk and talk. Let's go.
Oh, you need
Take
a
me
walk and
down.
talk?
Let's
Yeah.
talk to Will Compton here. Will, why did you go to Nebraska over Mizzou?
Oh, simple. Bo Pelini. Bo Pelini. And you look at where Nebraska's at, historically, much better program than Mizzou. No hate to my Missouri crew out there. Trust me, they were close, but Nebraska was the best decision I ever made.
Will, what
Well,
are you most excited about?
We saw, you
Okay.
know. Kay wants to know. I am. I actually hosted you on one of the recruiting visits there. I was a student coach with the quarterbacks, with Coach Yost. Yep.
No crap. So wait a minute. You're saying 2008 you guys beat us?
Yeah, when we went in. When we went into Lincoln.
When was the last time we played?
My last year there was 2008.
You guys didn't win?
Oh yeah, we did. We went into Lincoln and took care of business.
You talking about Jeremy Macklin and Chase Daniel?
Yeah.
Blaine Gabbert also came after that, and we worked you guys.
Well, I was gone by that point, so it doesn't count. You know.
Oh, it count. They all count.
Taylor. Okay. Taylor's here. You're not here.
I'm just here reading the
You're
paper.
reading the
When
New
you
York
want to give-
Times instead of being here with
when you
Taylor
wanna give me
Lewan.
when you want to give me my GD show back, you let me know.
I guess if you want to take it over, you know.
I want to.
If you want to take it back over, you can.
We've got Taylor Lewan. Taylor,
You wanna see Will?
I have such fear of missing out. I can't even tell you. What am I missing? Tell me everything.
So
I think
what
it's
you're
gonna take
missing
the
is the most unorganized version of how to get to Radio Row right now. It is insane how hard it is to get in this damn place. You literally have to go and check in, and then immediately.
Hey,
Oh,
I'm sorry.
I'm holding it.
I'm sorry.
Holding it now.
Is this like Rodney Harrison at the game when he's got somebody holding his umbrella over his head? Like, this is very precious of you to have Hamilton.
Yeah, I didn't know because now I got the mic taken away from me.
Okay, so the setup is in
What kind of show you running out here, Kay?
one where I'm not even freaking there.
I know. Where are you at right now?
I'm in New York City. I'm on a hotel floor, which is, I'm just getting used to the germs for Vegas. It's fine. I'm just making sense of it all, just building up my immunity. I'm going to be in Vegas later tonight, but I need to know, like I was talking to Sandra Douglas Morgan, the president of the Raiders, and she's like from Vegas, a local, and I'm a little overwhelmed with how much is going on. Like, it's kind of overstimulated.
Yeah, it is. What is going on here is there's probably not a better place. The only place that would probably rival here is Nashville, Tennessee, as far as throwing a Super Bowl and all that, which we'll get 2027, 2028. It is an absolute zoo down here. Just getting in this damn building is a process. It is, but it's unbelievable. Like the people walking through here, the energy. Media day was yesterday with all the players. Got to get George Kittle and Christian McCaffrey. It's awesome, man. You are missing out, and I hate that I'm basically throwing a dagger in you right now and telling you, hey, you are missing out a whole bunch, but you'll be here tonight, and it's going to be amazing.
I want to see you, and I want to see Will Compton. I want to see Hovey. I've been practicing push-ups. It's a whole thing. But you were at media night last night. I want to get into it because you got some amazing answers to some great questions. Let's take a look. Hopefully.
Are we taking a look?
I thought we had a thought, don't we? Do we have a thought of them busting the floor? Great.
Travis! Yes, when you were going to do New Heights podcast, were there any player podcasts that you were getting inspiration from?
1,000%. Mostly with the boys, baby.
Yeah, I just want to make sure. Thank you very much.
Check it out. Make sure you check it out and hit the follow button, baby.
Yeah. All right, Travis. We'll see you later, buddy. Thank you. We'll see you later. Done. Let's go home.
How was it?
Dude, it was awesome. Travis, I've known Travis for, I don't know, 6-7 years now. He's a great dude, but his success that he's had, obviously on and off the field, him and Jason, and obviously with the Taylor Swift situation, he's just done such a graceful job of entering this true A-list celebrity situation. For him to have fun with it and enjoy the moment, and it just seems like a guy that the moment's never too big for him. He's shown that on the football field, but also when life outside of football, you know, becomes bigger and more in the public eye, he just seems like he's taking it and being his same self. And I'm a big fan of Travis, man. We had a good time. George Kittle was out there too, and you know, we were actually trying to get everybody's attention. It is a lawless world in the media world when you're trying to get somebody's attention to ask a question. And there were little ladies, we're talking about 5'2", that were absolutely bulldozing me the whole time. And so we started screaming at George, yeah, you. we're screaming at George, and some lady in the back is like, "Sir, we're not gonna yell." And George's like, "No, they can yell." And it's so cool to establish these relationships with these guys, and then uniquely be in the position to ask them questions from a media standpoint, and just having that rapport that we do. It was a really great time.
And the other unique part is that you're asking questions and trying to do your job, but you're also being asked questions by global media because they're seeing, oh my gosh, there's Taylor Lewan. I want to ask. So you're doing media, you're giving interviews, I saw, then you're asking questions, and it is a harrowing experience. You have a height advantage. You were a player. I remember my first Super Bowl was Alex Smith, Colin Kaepernick, Jacoby Jones. We were in New Orleans, and I was elbowing people. I was wearing I dressed myself up like a peacock in bright colors to try to separate myself. You got the Chiquita Banana ladies walking around. You've got Guillermo handing out crazy shit to people. It is absolutely a scene. You guys crushed it for Bussin' with the Boys, and I can't wait to see some more of that content. And I loved seeing George Kittle talk about the Beer Olympics and all that. It's amazing. But speaking of beer, I got to get your take on you-know-who, Kyle Shanahan, a.k.a. Boozy Susie. Take a look.
I didn't hear Jed say that because it wasn't the smartest moment I've ever had. I mean, when an owner comes in after training camp practices and it's like, hey, how's the quarterback? And what he means is the starter or the second. And you in irritation go, I don't know, but our third guy's the best. That's not what he wants to hear. So that's why he remembers it very strong. But that was just more, Brock was so good right away with every rep he got. He was always the same. And he only got a couple of them. So it was easy for me to say, because in his few reps, he was the best.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that. Because Kyle, there's so much ego that goes into this sport. You know that. So many higher ups. There was a report yesterday about Mike Vrabel being too big to have a head coaching job. There's so much ego involved. And when you look at head coaches talking to GMs, talking to owners, and they have to sit there and say, hey, I know you have a first-round pick that you took number 5 overall. I know you traded for this guy and all these different things, but the guy you picked last in the draft is the best guy. It takes a lot of stones to go and tell an owner that when he's spending tens of millions of dollars on other guys to have that job. So shout out to Kyle, man. That's a big move, and knowing doing what's best for the team regardless of where the paycheck's being located.
Did you talk to him? Was he drunk?
When I talked to Kyle?
Did you talk to Kyle yesterday? Everyone's saying he was drunk on Twitter, and everyone's like, hey, I don't want to see my coach loose like this. Was he? Did you think he was a little buzzed or no?
No, I wouldn't say though. And what's wrong with the guys having a couple of cold pops right before a stressful media day too? He can do whatever he wants, man. If he wins the Super Bowl, it's let's just drink more then, boys, right? I did have one question for him, and it's a very unique parallel because the last time a head coach with the last name Shanahan won a Super Bowl, he had a McCaffrey on his team. And I didn't know if that makes him more nervous, more anxious, or if it was more exciting knowing that his odds are a little bit better having a McCaffrey on his team. So if the guy wants to have a couple of pops, get after a little bit, have a little bit of fun, I'm a fan of it.
How many, what did you call it, pops? How many pops are you going to have? Over, under, I don't even know. You set the over, under for this week.
No, the over, under for this week's probably 2 because I have gotten to the point being having 2 daughters, 6 and 3. And drinking for me is it was fun when I was in my early 20s, and you get after it in a lot of ways. And I'm sure there's a lot of people in Nashville, Tennessee that can tell some horrendous, horrific stories about me being blackout drunk on Demumbrian Street. But now I pick and choose my battles. So we have Beer Olympics every year. My wife and I, we go to Cabo every year, and I'll know those 3-4 days. Your boy's gonna be in a blender. I'm being blurry-eyed the entire time. Weeks like this week, when it seems like Super Bowl, Vegas, it's time to get after it. This is where you kind of take advantage of the situation. I get to go, clarity of mind, come sit down with you on this show, even though you're not here right now. I'm able to come on your show and have a good time and feel good about doing it too. So the drinking for me has really shut down quite a bit, but I pick and choose my battles.
I love this for you because you never know when you're going to be at an event and the camera's going to come to you, and you have to bake in those impromptu, unscheduled times where you're going to have to chug a couple beers. You're going to have to shotgun one because you're at an event and the camera comes your way. So I like this disciplined, rigorous routine that you have here. I thought that I was drunk when I saw this image. And I know you're not sponsoring this per se, or maybe you are. I don't know. What the hell am I looking at here? What in fact is this?
That is a company called Shipped, and they, for those of you who need anything for the big game, you can get delivered by Shipped, dude, within the day for all your needs. Talking about chips, salsas, the whole kit and caboodle when you're throwing your big game party. I don't think you can say Super Bowl. Such a weird term around that, or some copyright. But yeah, we were at the Barstool Content House, and they brought that beautiful piece of machinery. That thing gets up to 55 miles an hour, Kay. The guy was ripping us up and down this neighborhood in a giant shopping cart. It was a very cool experience, to say the least.
I love that. So let's dig into the Super Bowl, because you're not in a shopping cart. You're on Radio Row. You're doing the whole thing, bussing with the boys. It's all happening. Will Compton's there. When we dig into the actual nitty-gritty of the Super Bowl, one of the biggest matchups everyone's talking about is, of course, the Niners pass rush up against that Chiefs offensive line. And when asked about their O-line, Nick Bosa said they hold a lot. Now, as a former O-lineman, what do you think of Bosa calling out the tackles right before the Super Bowl?
Yeah, that's a thing to me. If like Nick Bosa came out and they were like, "Hey, where are the issues going to be with the offensive line?" And he said, "There's not going to be any issues." That's when you take the pin tack, you put it on the bulletin board, and you say, "Boys, this is what we got to do. We got to shut Nick Bosa up. Good luck with that." When it comes to holding, it's like it must be a Bosa thing, because obviously guys complain about holding all the time, and I did my fair share of it legally and illegally in the game. But I remember playing Joey Bosa a couple times, and it was always like, you always hold, as if that's some sort of an insult. It's like, brother, I got my hands on you. I got these mitts on you, and you're not going anywhere. That's a big W for me. So, but the Chiefs offensive line, they've been called over and over and over again, and that's where you have to, this week, every penalty, every single play counts in trying to host that Lombardi trophy. So when you're going to get those hands and you are going to hold, inevitably what you do as an offensive lineman, what you need to do is get those hands inside and take them out of the shoulder pads. For me, if I'm on the Chiefs and Nick Bosa says that, that's not a bulletin board thing. That's more just like, you look at statistically how much have we been flagged. And then if it's a lot, it's like, well, he's not wrong. He's absolutely not wrong in that situation.
I'm looking at FanDuel Sportsbook right now. And I'm looking at the prop for total sacks by the Niners defense, and it's set at 2.5. Over, under.
Over. I think over. I think Nick's going to have 2 of them himself. I think Chase Young will get himself 1, and they'll get pressure up the middle for sure. Chase Young, man, it was we had a live stream after the NFC Championship game, and I had a couple of choice words for Chase. When they were down, I saw him lazy on a couple of plays, and that's a horrible thing to say about a player, but he was the energy wasn't there. There was a touchdown run where he was chasing down the line of scrimmage as he should have been, but he was jogging, and he had the opportunity to make a play and save a touchdown, and it was against Gibbs. And it didn't make it happen. Those type of things cannot happen. This has to be a full effort, empty the gas tank type of situation. And I think Chase is going to rise to that occasion when it comes to rushing the quarterback.
Our time of possession is so important. Everything, like the conditioning, it's so late playing all of these games. And then this week is such a, like, we're tired and exhausted, like they are too. And so managing who's in there, the rotation, all that's also insane. So over the last 5 seasons, the Niners have made the playoffs 4 times. They've won 2 NFC championships. First trip back to the Super Bowl, of course, since that 2019 season when they lost to the Chiefs in Miami. What do you think the single most important thing the Niners need to focus on to make sure that they win this time around?
The single most important thing is to utilize Christian McCaffrey. I think you put Brock Purdy in a position to make opportunistic throws, but you put the workload on Christian McCaffrey. You have so many aliens on the outside. You have George Kittle playing that Y, who's also a great blocker. But I would give Christian McCaffrey the ball 30 times a game. I would take care of that time of possession and keep the Chiefs off the field. I know their points per game hasn't been as high as they have been in years past, but every time Patrick Mahomes has the ball in his hand, that's when you're holding your breath as a 49ers fan. So it is very critical that you handle the line of scrimmage, you make sure that Christian McCaffrey gets his touches, and you give him a couple of lanes and keep those chains moving and get yourself in those third and manageable situations and control the game that way. This doesn't have to be a sexy game. This game needs to be knock down, drag them out from a 49er standpoint, and just get to the end of the fourth quarter with a W.
And I saw your deep dive of 13 and Taylor. I thought it was incredibly well done, but you picked the Niners.
Am I taking the Niners, you asking?
I said I saw your whole Taylor Swift breakdown of the 1s and the 3s and the 13s and the subtracting from 187s, all of that, but you're picking the Niners, yeah?
Yeah, my heart, it says the Niners, but my brain, like we talked about, is saying the Chiefs. Like, it's it's so incredible. I've been on multiple shows and I've flip-flopped so many times. But on this show, I will say I am taking the 49ers.
I say I'll be like, Niners, Chiefs. Niners, Chiefs. I just want a good game. That's sort of my rap sheet. And everybody.
And that's the best part about this.
Right. Nobody cares.
Yeah, it's like the fact that we're at the Super Bowl and we're not saying like everybody's taking this team and no one's taking this other team. It truly is like this might be one of the greatest Super Bowls of all time that we get to sit here and like truly be divided 50-50 down the middle. Who's taking what? Like that is what we're all fired up about.
Yeah, it's funny you say 50-50, but would I be surprised? Like the Chiefs have the momentum and the Niners, I don't know if they do. So that's what will be. To me, it's an easier roll off the tongue to say the Chiefs will win than the Niners for some reason right now. But maybe it'll change.
The 49ers just haven't put 4 quarters of football together. But the fact that they finished on such a high note against the Lions, being down that much at half and coming back, I mean, you can look at the Lions and say, like, yeah, like Dan Campbell should have kicked that field goal, and there's a lot of statistics. I think it was like 82% on 4th and 3 for the Lions, and their kicker with that depth was at like I think like 60%. So statistically, you want to go for it. But if I'm Dan Campbell and you're in that type of situation, that's a dagger by the 3. So it's incredible the momentum they're going into with these 2 weeks to prepare.
What happened with Vrabel? You mentioned it. I read the quote and I thought it was a joke. And then, but it's to it, right? About it being him not getting a job with a very large human. It's intimidating to people in the organization. Why didn't he land a coaching job?
I don't know why he didn't. So let's go back to that report. I think ML Football reported that on X. And I actually had the opportunity to see Diana Rossini yesterday, who was, I saw her, gave her a big hug. I love Diana. And she goes, I kind of talked about the Vrabel thing, and she just gets tight about it. She's like, that's not what I said. They're reporting it like it's a report, but really someone just said that to her, that he's an intimidating factor, and that might be a reason why. The reason why Vrabel doesn't have a job, I have no idea. And if there is a suit that is in the upper parts of a franchise who is making business decisions and they're saying, this guy's a little too intimidating for us to add as a head coach of the National Football League, fire him immediately. Do not give him a severance package. He needs to pack his shit and he needs to go home. That is the most crazy take if somebody actually believes that someone's too intimidating to be a head coach. You want your guy. Now, Mike is a big ego guy. He's a big dude that when you have a conversation, it's on his terms. It's going to be a deep conversation or a shallow conversation based on Mike. And you can love him or hate him for that. But the reality is he's a damn good head coach and he deserves to have a head coaching job. But it just seems like it's not in the cards this year.
I think Vrabel spends the next year.
Say that again.
How do you think Vrabel spends the next year?
Right now, I don't see the media portion. Maybe he does a couple hits here and there. I think Vrabel spends his season in Park City, Utah, smoking cigars and nicotine vapes and talking trash to the TV as he was watching Sunday Night Football. And all because he could go into media. He would do great in media, but I just don't see him taking a coordinator job or anything like that. There should be an appetite for Mike Vrabel come next Black Monday, whenever that happens, after week 18 of the NFL season next year.
Okay, do you see Will Levis? I guess he's not there in person. I think he's on Zoom. I think we're going to have Will Levis in a little bit. Control, what should we do? Sorry, I'm just trying. Oh, there. Hey, Will. Here's me and Taylor Lalonde. What's up?
Will Levis, baby. How are you?
I'm doing well. Taylor. How are you?
You waking up this morning having a little coffee and a little mayonnaise and coffee, or what you up to, dude? What was your routine this morning?
No coffee this morning. Just pure vibes, I don't need the caffeine.
I love it, dude. I love it. No tan and pure vibes. I love it.
Taylor, take it away. Ask Will a couple questions, and then we'll get you out of here. I just wanted you two to have a chance to talk, of course, because there's a lot of optimism around Will. You've always had his back all season long on my show.
Yeah, Will, first off, big fan of you, dude. Love the direction you're going to take the Tennessee Titans franchise in. Obviously, a new head coach. Have you had the opportunity to talk to Callahan? Have you had an opportunity to pick his brain? And how do you feel going into this next season?
I feel great, and I have had the opportunity to talk to him, and it was great for him to reach out to me pretty soon after he got the job, and for him to express his excitement to work with me. And quickly got into the tape and, watching what Cincinnati has been able to do, and excitement for learning that offense. And obviously he's been able to work with some awesome quarterbacks. So hopefully, be that next one for him. And I'm just ready to, get boots on the ground and start working for him. But yes, I did get to meet him. I was there for his press conference when he first got here. Seems like a great dude, and I'm just excited.
I love it, dude.
Will,
Very polished in the media world, man. I like it.
Will, what do you make? We're just talking about Vrabel, our boy. We love Callahan. I'm a Cincinnati fan. Taylor's, confused about why he doesn't have a job. What was your experience like with Vrabel, and why do you think he's not working as a head coach this year?
Yeah, I mean, I loved working for Coach, and it started our relationship obviously pretty specially growing up, rooting for him and being a big fan of the Pats, and having the opportunity to play for such a legend for the organization that I grew up a fan of was pretty cool. And he earns the respect from the players right away just because of his playing career. And it can get old, sometimes when you say he can say what he can say because he's been there, but he's 100% right. And that's a huge reason as to why guys love playing for him. And even though, it didn't work out between him and the organization, I love playing for him, and I wish him the best going forward.
Will, is he intimidating?
I think he can be sometimes, especially, as a rookie going in the NFL. Any coach can be intimidating, but he definitely has got that alpha dog mentality that some people can't handle.
What's the maddest you ever saw?
Oof, maddest I ever saw him?
Taylor, I want your answer too.
At me, probably, I think he told me specifically not to throw it to somebody that I threw it to in the game, and that never goes over well. So that was against Houston, I think, that first Houston game, and I didn't want to look him in the eyes, that's for sure.
Taylor?
The most I've ever seen Vrabel mad was his first year in 2018. We were at a practice during camp. It's hot, it's brutal, and he's just chewing at guys over and over again. And I had a little juice at the time. I was playing well, obviously, and I started talking back to him. I was a coachable individual, but I was also a controversial individual when it came to coaches and authority. I never did well with that, so he and I got into it, and he's got a piece of chew on his lip, and he's screaming at me, and ends up kicking me out of practice, and it was like, I don't know, maybe a week into training camp 2018. So, but I mean, man, he's one of those guys that he'll yell at you, and then after that, he's gonna call you in the office. He's gonna have talk to you why you can or cannot do certain things. And there was I will say one very big positive is I had the worst game of my entire life. It was week 1 of 2021 against Chandler Jones. I gave up 2 sacks. That was an absolute, Will Levis would have been dead if he was quarterback. It was terrible. And he brings me in the office and he goes, hey, I want you to know we didn't lose that game because of you. Like, you obviously didn't play well, but he definitely lifted me up in that situation in a time where confidence was wavering. I was coming back off the ACL. And so there's that yin and yang of Vrabel that he does such a phenomenal job of.
Taylor, we're going to let you go. It's funny, you look like you're hosting a coffee talk show, like little Kelly and Regis out there. You're on my set. I'm excited to get there. I don't know, Will, you're coming to town too. We're both descending upon Vegas. Be ready, Taylor, to make time for us to hang out with us. We love you. I'll find you. I will follow the empty canister of Zyn throughout Vegas to find myself too, my favorite guy, Taylor Long. Guys, check out Bustin' with the Boys this week. I'm waiting for my invite onto the program.
Okay, you've got an invite. You're more than invited every single time. And Will, before I go off this show, I'm going to need a verbal commitment from you. 2024, you coming on Bustin' with the Boys?
Confirmed.
Hey, you guys have a great day. We got some stuff done today. Have a phenomenal afternoon.
I feel really good. And like you're saying, I've had a coffee. I held the mayo on this one. I want to forget about that storyline entirely. I love getting to talk to you. Congratulations on the season. But I'm like in big sister mode when I see you, because you are taking these shots with your arm, dude, and you're running through defenders, and you're like, I don't know that I want you to be recovering your own fumbles down the field, throwing your body around like you do. It gives me anxiety. Will, what is going through your mind when you're running around like this? Kind of bravely and boldly, but recklessly? I think we have some footage. I hope. Maybe you don't. Just talk to me about your gameplay.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. It's definitely something that has been talked about, ad nauseum. throughout the year, and it needs to be, because your best ability is your availability, and that's definitely cliche, but it's definitely true. And I got to be smart with how I use my body. At the end of the day, I'm a competitor, and when the game's on the line and a play needs to be made, I'm not afraid to put my body, in a not great situation if that's what it takes to get us to continue to have an opportunity to win a game. But I'm want to be this franchise's quarterback for a long time, and I got to protect my body.
Yeah, it's like a fine balance that I think you'll learn with time. If you look back at your season, like sort of as a whole, and I think you pop on the scene week 7, and I was like, oh shit, like a 4-touchdown game out the gate right away. And obviously there were lots of highs and lots to build off of, which is the most exciting part, but there were some bumps in the road too. When you look back, how would you describe your season now that you're a little removed from the craziness of it?
For sure, ups and downs, a lot of excitement, some disappointments, but overall just a lot of learning. And I feel like I came out of it, just with a lot of confidence that I could do this thing, and that I could play at this level, at a high level, and that I can, as long as I continue to put the work in, be a quarterback in this league for a long time, for this team for a long time. So was surrounded by a lot of great people in this organization, a lot of great players, and a lot of great coaches to put me in those situation to succeed. So I got to thank them for that. But looking forward to taking the good things from this season, learning from the bad, and transitioning into this next season to hopefully keep on that uptrend.
Callahan, you and Taylor talked about him. He's been given a lot of credit, right, for building up Joe Burrow, for getting him up to speed with what the NFL is. Have you guys talked on the phone, text? What's the relationship right now?
Yeah, we talked when he first got hired, and it's cool for him to have reached out right away and expressed his interest in coaching me, and was there for his press conference when he first got hired. And I'm just excited to get to work for him. And I know that now we got the OC and the staff is starting to get finalized here. I'm ready to start learning an offense, and even though it is a little difficult, transitioning and having a new coach and learning a new offense, I'm not new to it, and I'm looking forward to undertaking that challenge.
Yeah, I think he's going to evolve your offense, and it's going to be really nice to see. And I cannot wait to see what you do with it. Because you had a great season, and there were ups, and we got to build off of that and keep it going. You said you've learned a lot. What's the sort of walk-away lesson that you're taking into your second season? Like, what did you learn?
I think how important. I think my biggest lesson that I'm taking, that I don't think I necessarily did the best job of, that I improved as the season went on and as I got more comfortable, which is my leadership role, and just how important it is for me to be communicating and connecting with my teammates and my coaches to make sure that everything that's on my mind and everything that I'm feeling and I'm seeing, they understand and they know. And sometimes that's not an easy conversation. And as a rookie, having to talk to a vet, that could be uncomfortable. So I feel like as the season went on, I was able to grow into more of that leadership role. But I understand, just as a quarterback, how important it is to just be connected with those guys and to show love and know that you're only asking and telling them these things because it's in the best interest of them and the team. And sometimes it's not going to evoke the best response, but it's the response, and it's a conversation that needs to happen. And I just want to be a better leader going forward for this team.
Really, really well said. You got to hang out at the Pro Bowl. You were with Peyton Manning, who I wonder if, you had a better rookie season than he did. So there's a lot to be excited about with you, young Will Levis. But here's you two sort of chopping it up. This must have been awesome. Let's take a look.
That was one of the first things that jumped out to me, was how Brian would benefit Will. And I've enjoyed getting to know Will and keeping up with him. And, he got some good experience in his first year, but now you're looking for some continuity in the system.
How amazing was that?
Incredible. I mean, Peyton and I, first got connected, as I had the opportunity to go and be a counselor at his camp down in Thibodaux. And then continuing that relationship since then has been really, really cool. And he's obviously Hall of Fame, one of the best quarterbacks of all time, but I think he's Hall of Fame, one of the best individuals of all time too. And to hear him say those words and to show that, he's got some faith in me, it makes me want to work even harder.
Teen Titan fans have a lot of faith in you. They're a great fan base you've inherited. Truly, one of my favorites in the NFL. Nobody does it like Nashville. So welcoming, so beloved of their team. I'm so excited for you. We've got business to take care of. I'm hosting Battle of the Paddles too. You are participating. You and 8 table tennis loving, trash talking maniacs when it comes to this thing. How's your table tennis game?
It's good. I'm not gonna hype myself up too much, but it is good. I've always been a natural, player with the paddle in my hands. I will say I haven't played in a while. I don't know what the vets on our team were thinking, but we actually don't have a ping pong table in the locker room. So maybe that's something that has to change here in the near future. But it was a staple in my college career in the locker room. I was always, if not top dog, right up there in the locker room. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm repping Old Spice. I'm going down there for the second annual P&G Battle for the Paddles, and I'm excited. I'm excited. It's definitely a heated competition and a lot of good players. But I know that Old Spice and the swagger Andy Perspirant's going to keep me not sweaty, even though I am a pretty sweaty individual. So I'm ready. I'm a big backhand player. I'm a big defensive player.
Okay.
So we'll see.
Let's not pretend this isn't like a divisional battle. Okay, it's the PG Battle of the Paddles too. There's 8 players. There's 2 quarterbacks in this thing. Everybody, by the way, you can watch it on Overtime Season's YouTube page live. It's at 8 p.m. Wednesday the 7th. I'll be there. It'll be so much fun. But if you think I'm not going to try to get in your head and stir some stuff up between you and Trevor Lawrence, you're out of your mind.
I was gonna say, if there's one person I want to beat, it's Trevor. He's 1-0 against me, so I gotta even the playing field, at least on the table, I guess.
What advantage do you have over Trevor Lawrence in this?
Well, I don't know what kind of ping pong player he is, but I don't have hair that's gonna get in my face when we're playing, so that'll be an advantage, I think.
I'll steal his headband. And I'll convince P&G that for Head and Shoulders, it'd be good to have his hair all over the place and show off that mane. And then
maybe
you're
bring
going
some fans in. Yeah, bring some fans on the side that we can go around.
I'll put him behind him, like the opposite Beyonce. And so all his hair will fly into his face. And then we've got a real situation here with P&G Battle of the Paddles on Overtime Season's YouTube page, guys. It's amazing. It happened last year. By the way, Trent Taylor won this thing. He's back. That's your real competition.
I'm a little scared of him.
Yeah. Jamal Williams, just get your stuff together. Get your stuff together and get your ass to Vegas, Will. We appreciate you. Congrats on an incredible rookie campaign, and we cannot wait to see what's coming up. Actually, why don't we say hi? You on a Super Bowl some days. Andrew Whitworth around. Andrew, want to say hi to Will Levis? What's up, Andrew? Andrew's playing ping pong.
Oh, he's playing pong.
I guess we're going to say bye to you, Will.
I'm over here. I'm getting a little work in.
On Wednesday night.
11?
Looking forward to seeing you. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Thanks for being part of this mess. One time we'll see each other in person, I'm sure. Oh, I'll see you on Wednesday. Never mind. Saquon Barkley, guys. It's Jamal Williams. We got the 2 quarterbacks. I love that the AFC South beautifully represented by Trevor Lawrence, Mr. Waffle House, Fabio Hare meets Will Levis, who I think is going to undersell and overdeliver. I like that he set that low expectation. I haven't played in a while. I'm a little rusty. I'm just going to do my butt. He's going to come and he's going to kick some butt. So join us with P&G. Very excited. And those are, of course, all the locker room staples. Everybody's used to seeing the official locker room partner of the NFL. Now here comes Andrew Whitworth. Andrew, can you hear me?
I can hear you. What's going on?
I see you're playing a little ping pong there. You're making yourself cozy on the set that I'm not even on.
Hey, look, I'm missing you, so I figured I'd just take your chair. I'm going to hang out over here on the set. Just hold it down for you.
I love it. We're so happy to have a 3-time All-Pro, 4-time Pro Bowler, Super Bowl winning tackle who spent 11 years in the league, Bagels and Rams. You, of course, do your thing for Thursday Night Football, which has been crushing it. I can't believe 2 seasons have gone by. That's on Amazon Prime. Andrew, what does this week feel like to you?
Well, I think starting it off with a little beer pong really got me going. Now I'm competitive. Now the juices are flowing. I think I'm excited, man. This week, every week, you get excited to come to the Super Bowl. You get into town and you start seeing just everything, all the signs everywhere, the signage, the energy, the lights of just the city of Vegas already. I saw the Sphere last night, seeing the NFL Shield on there. You can feel it. It is Super Bowl week. It is huge, and I'm excited to be here.
It's amazing. I'm loving that you're mentioning that you're playing beer pong. You told me last time I saw you that your cheat meal is tequila with me and Gronk, which is amazing. You seem to be a big Vegas guy. I don't know if you saw some of the musical acts that are rolling into town. Yes, Usher and U2. But last time I saw you, you said Move Over Chainsmokers for you and Gronk. Did you see that you two are both playing Encore Beach Club? Take a look. Look at this. I saw this poster.
Hey, listen, I'm ready.
We don't have
I'm ready.
anything.
I'm ready for this. I'm ready to go. I've been doing my ab work. I'm ready. I'm hoping Gronk gives me an opportunity. I'm taking the shirt off, jumping in the water, whatever we got to do to make this party live. And look, me and Gronk right here, this is us. This is what's going to happen. I also am security. Don't forget that. He hired me as bodyguard as well.
Okay. Well, you look a little bodyguardy today. This is like the first time I've seen you without the hoodie blazer. I'm a little thrown off.
You know, you can't break it out all the time, Kay. Sometimes you got to hold back. You know, you got to keep it. People they get carried away with the hoodie. You know, I think sometimes you got to show people you got other looks. So for me, being here this week, you know, the hoodie will definitely be coming to a party, but I got to break it out when I can.
I love it. Casual Tuesday, got to warm it up. Give the people what they want a little bit later. It's good advice from a Super Bowl champion. The Niners want to get it done, okay? Nick Bosa, a lot to say about the Chiefs O-line and how it holds a lot last night. Let's take a listen.
He was just asked how the Chiefs tackles look, and he said they hold a lot. That was all he said. Any response to that?
No. I mean, Nick is going to say what he's going to say. Like I said, the game going to be playing the white lines, and that's just what it's going to be.
Did you see Nick's comments or have any response to those?
Part of the game, man. I'm just looking forward to the game on Sunday for sure.
What do you make of this? Lots of this going on from the media right now.
They're trying to stir the pot, but listen, here's the reality. I played for 16 years. I got paid to hold for 16 years, okay? It's our job to keep you from getting to the quarterback by any means necessary. Call it holding, call it blocking. Nick Bosa, call it whatever you want. If you don't get there, that's the only thing we care about, okay? So look, those guys, they could care less. Whatever happens, they're going out there to keep Nick Bosa from hitting the quarterback. The rest, you know, hey, that's just talk.
Now, you had your battles against Bosa with the Rams. What is he like out there? Does he talk?
I know him well. No, Bosa's, Nick's he's a quiet guy. He goes to work, give him credit, what a special player he is. But, I put him in the likes of when I played James Harrison, he was a real quiet guy. He just went to work. He was determined the whole game. You were going to get that intensity, that rush every play, bringing those power rushes and doing the different hand swipes and things that Bosa does. It's similar in their demeanor during a game. They're just intense and locked in the whole time. And really, there's almost never anything said. I've had a couple TV timeouts maybe where he spoke to me a little bit, but he's pretty locked in during the game. And then he's an absolute sweetheart. So it's the funniest thing because in the game, he's that way. And then post game, he's like the kindest dude ever. And you're just like, wow, how are you just this absolute, you look like Hercules and you're so intimidating. And then post game, I'm like, man, you're the sweetest dude I've ever met. He's a really cool guy. And it's awesome to see the success he's had this quickly in his career.
And I like seeing I like the response from the Chiefs offensive line. And I think this very much will be a battle run in the trenches to open up those lanes for Pacheco and Christian McCaffrey and Debo and so on. It's going to be such an exciting game. But part of it is what it means in a bigger world. We heard Travis Kelce last night talking about what his legacy is and all of this. And I don't know what happened to our shot. But if you can still hear me, Andrew, we'll just do a little talking here. Travis was, very, he talked about retirement pretty openly. You famously retired celebrating in the confetti. What did you make of Travis Kelce and how he's handling this? And I don't know what's going on with these visuals. Now we're in Scotland.
Hey, no, it looks great. It's a golf course. I like it. So here's what I would say is that, I think when you hear these guys talk like that, you can definitely feel that there's a lot of emotion when you get to end of a season, especially now, these 17 game seasons, you're really 18 weeks now that you're going through with a bye week. It's a long year. And when you get to this moment, you are exhausted. You've been banged up all year. You've been going through all these things with your body, and you really start thinking, how much longer do I want to do this? And I think that's really what's in his mind a little bit, is like, I'm about to give it all I got, everything I got, to put it on the line for this game, and then I'll decide really where I'm going to go after that. Because when you get into your mid-30s, listen, being excited about playing football, that's easy. That's what you know. But what you have to go through to get your body to go out every week and perform, man, it starts to be less about the physical and more the mental drain it is on you to go out there and perform at that level with those expectations all the time.
Yeah, and I'm really rooting for him, of course. It's hard to pick who I'm rooting for the most. It's kind of a dumb question, but I am curious, who do you have a little extra for? You have a little extra for like a Trent Williams, for instance, 14th year in the league, 11 Pro Bowls. Then there's Christian McCaffrey, who you can just tell wants it more than everything. Like, who's the person that you'd love to see doing the infamous Andrew Whitworth confetti angel at the end of the game?
Well, I think Trent Williams, obviously being somebody I have a close relationship with, I've always admired his game, and I think one of the greatest left tackles to ever play without question. And this Super Bowl could really cement that. I think that to see him have his moment this far into his career would be really special. I think Brock Purdy, it'd be really special just for what he's been. As big as the Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce narrative has been, so is the Brock Purdy in the sense of just everyone talking about what he is and what he's not. I think it'd be cool to see him get his roses as well. But on the flip side of that, Kelce and Mahomes have been talked about all year. Like, hey, this is it. They don't look the same. All this stuff about their team and the skill positions and how they've struggled and they're letting Mahomes down. They just feel like, man, it'd be cool to see them let everybody know, hey, in what all you people called a down year, we just won the Super Bowl again.
Crazy. And he said it would mean more to him because of that, which is insane. You're here with Mattel Creations, Andrew, and Fisher-Price. And it's funny because you're this big guy that everybody looks up to physically, but also just what you are as a man that's so related to the NFL world that we love, Walter Payton, and all of that. But you also have like a big kid in you that comes out, which I love. So I feel like this is a perfect partnership. And it's giving fans a chance to honor their favorite teams with the Little People Collector Super Bowl 58 championship set. Show me this thing. And by the way, I know you don't think we're on TV, but we are. So keep going.
Oh, yeah. No, listen, this is second year in a row I've gotten to be a part of this. The Little People Collector set. Fans can go to MattelCreations.com, put in an order for their favorite team in this game, the Niners or Chiefs. And if their team loses, they'll get their money back. But if their team wins, they'll get this collector set to commemorate Super Bowl 58 and their winning team. You got Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, L'Jarius Sneed. On the Chiefs side, you have, on the 49ers side, you got Brock Purdy, Christian McCaffrey, and Fred Warner, and a super fan in each group. But listen, last year I was here, I was talking about this, what a great opportunity it was for my kids and my boys to have these. They got them all over their room. But now my daughter wants one because Travis Kelce's in there and the whole Taylor Swift mess. Listen, these things are awesome for kids. They're awesome for anyone who wants to commemorate the specialty of Super Bowl 58. And if you got one last year, the Chiefs, you have to go get another one, because who has two back-to-back sets of Super Bowl champion Little People Collector sets? It's a great opportunity for people, and everyone needs to take advantage of it.
I love it. I like this. So for both teams, you can go to MattelCreations.com to pre-order this collector set, but only the winning team gets their orders fulfilled. So it's a very cool thing. So we'll see which team that is. And we appreciate you, Andrew, for stopping by. Have fun. Pace yourself. It's a long week.
You know what? When you're here for a whole week, it's like a wave. You got to ride it a little bit, right? But every now and then you got to get out. So I'm gonna pace myself, okay? I'm gonna pick my nights, and then I'm gonna have some relaxing days as well.
Yeah, you break out that hoodie blazer. I can't wait to see you, big guy. We appreciate you, and congrats on the partnership with all the cool things you're doing with Mattel and Fisher-Price. Now, we're going to, you guys can tweet the show. We're live on YouTube. I'm going to throw it to an interview with Saquon Barkley. So we were supposed to have Saquon on the show live yesterday, and it didn't quite work out. He was on First Take for too long, and then our show ended. But then we were really lucky enough and thankful to P&G for bringing us Saquon Barkley and Trevor Lawrence and Will Levis as part of their Battle to the Paddles 2 that's going to be happening on Wednesday, February 8th or February 7th at 8 p.m. So tomorrow, Saquon sat with me, could not love him more, could not love how thoughtful and introspective he is, and I wish him all the best in the future. And of course, I started with the tough question. Saquon. Let's get to the really tough questions off the bat here. The question everybody wants to know when it comes to Saquon Barkley, what do you have against Monsters, Inc.?
Wow. I have nothing against Monster Inc. I just think the 4 movies that were presented, I just feel like it's easy. Lion King is is classic. Cars is like Cars is like one of my movies. Like, I love Cars. I forgot what the third one was again. It was Nemo. Nemo was the third one. Like, come on. Like, Nemo, you're not picking Monster Inc. over Nemo. Like, Nemo brings tears to people. Monster Inc. is definitely, it's not a bad movie. It's just sometimes in life, it was put up against 3 other really good movies, and you got to go with the 3 that you feel.
But let's talk about your season. 10 total touchdowns, over 1,200 scrimmage yards, even with 3 different quarterbacks. That's amazing. This O-line that was banged up, not itself, missing a few games. You missed games, and these were your numbers. What was the high point of the season for you?
Well, one, thank you. You make it seem like I still had a good season. I know some people will disagree, but I like to look at it that way. I like to make that the narrative, how you made it. High point of the season, I would say probably the last game. It was a little mix of both because you knew it was the last game, and obviously the season didn't go the way we would like it to go. But to finish off on a high note, really not playing for anything, knowing we're out the playoffs, just how all the guys came to work that week, how we practiced, how we went out in the game, competed, finally get to beat Philly, a team that we struggled with in recent years. So it was a little bit of both, but nothing but tremendous respect for all my teammates because it's easy. And I've been part of games like that before, weeks like that before, and you can see how those guys really showed up, how we all showed up in practice, how the coaches came and still pushed us, and then we were able to get a win. So that's the beauty of the NFL.
I'm surprised that anybody would say that you didn't have a great season. You won a game with Daniel Jones, Tyrod Taylor, and Tommy DeVito. I would argue the common denominator is you. You are the focal point, the center of that offense, of any offense that you would ever plan. How confident are you going into what might be a very businessy offseason for you?
I am really confident because I'm at ease. I only can control the things that I can control. I have an unbelievable team around me, and I know that they're going to get the job done. Last year, it was a little stressful, especially after you get tagged. And then, I don't like really talk about myself too much, so I definitely don't like turning on the TV and try to watch ESPN or watch any of these, these TV shows and, oh, here goes my face and it's, oh, what's contract negotiation? All that stuff kind of bothered me. But now, it's kind of like I dealt with it last year. I went through it last year. So I'm at ease. So that's why I'm confident. It's like whatever happens, happens. I'm listening to my team, listening to my doc. I took my 6 weeks off. I ain't touching no weights, which anyone who knows me is kind of hard to do. So after the Super Bowl, I'm going to get back ready. And I know I have a lot left in the tank. And whether it's with the New York Football Giants or not, I'm ready. I'm ready to compete at a high level.
Can you picture life outside of that locker room? I don't know. Jim, go ahead.
Definitely. It definitely would be, it'll be weird. It'll be weird, but it depends how you look at it. I came in with Penn State. I think I am the only one of my teammates from Penn State. I think Kabinda still with Detroit the whole time. That's been with the team for six years. All my guys, like some of my best friends, I see them pick up and move and go to this spot or play for a different team. And, if they're able to handle that adversity, I think I'll be okay.
A source close to Jim Harbaugh mentioned that you'd be at the top of his list if you were available. You and Eckler in the backfield sounds kind of nice.
Yeah. I got nothing.
LA? You could be closer to me.
I got nothing but respect for Coach Harbaugh. Obviously, the success he had in the NFL before, playing against him in college, and I'm a big fan of Justin Herbert too. I think he's one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. But hey, if the opportunity was able to present itself, I definitely wouldn't be against it. But like I said, only can control what I can control. And right now is chilling, relaxing, and watch the Super Bowl just like everybody else.
I love that. So Daniel Jones came on my show every week this year, and he had nothing but praise for you as a man, as a leader, as like I sort of said, the focal point that comes from Daniel Jones. What would you like to say about him and how he's dealt with this season?
Obviously, the season didn't go the way any of us would like it, and the injury, and then getting hurt early in the year, and then coming back and hurting his knee and the ACL, and going through that road before. I know how tough it's going to be. I know the adversity that he's going through, but also I know who Daniel Jones is too. I know the work ethic. I know the character he has. I know the mindset that he has, and that's just going to be nothing for him. He's going to be back stronger than ever. If anything, you tend to realize that injury makes you a lot better in a lot of different ways, not just only on the football field, but just as a man, in the locker room, in the weight room, getting the game taken away from you. So really understanding how much you actually missed the game. So I'm ready for him. I'm ready to see the level that he's going to take it to, because of the work ethic that he's had, the mindset. He's really. You ask anybody in the locker room, everyone can say what they want to say about Daniel Jones and have their opinion about Daniel Jones, but we're there every single day, and you don't hear nothing negative from anybody in the locker room, whether that's players, whether that's trainers, whether that's coaches, whether that's anybody, the chefs, anybody. No one can say anything negative about him, because they know the work that he puts in, and I believe if you have that mindset and that work ethic, all good things can come your way eventually.
I can't tell you how many times I've talked to young players who are dealing with adversity, whether it's like something doesn't go right, or I'm talking about interviews that I'll do with players, injuries, and I bring you up in this conversation you and I had after your injury, and you had the timeout because you had the most refreshing, optimistic take that it's the best perspective that like it happened for a reason, that it was the best year of your life because you had to deal with all of the adversity and it made you a better man, a better player. I always tell people that there's goodness in it from one of the best players to do it. I've always remembered all the interviews. I always remember that moment with you because I was like, shoot, like that's a good way to think about things. That said, you tell this nice thing about Daniel Jones. You're somehow walking around with, I heard Tommy DeVito.
I love Tommy. Tommy is like, I always be like, I talk like he's like this young rookie. He's like 25. Like he's literally a year or two younger than me. So it's like I talk about him like he's my little brother, but he really is. He's. I was so happy. It was fun to be a part of that whole, that whole chaos that was brought to the city. It brought just a great vibe, even in the games and all this, and it made it fun, especially when the season wasn't going the way that we wanted it to go. He brought the spark, he brought the life, and he showed that he could play at a high level. He showed that he could play in the NFL. So
is he a starting quarterback?
I believe so. I think with the right opportunity, with the right chance, I think he showed. It's hard to win in this league. It's hard to win football games in this league, and we had a lot of challenges this year, a lot of adversity, a lot of people banged up, a lot of injuries. The roster probably wasn't the way we saw it being in the beginning of the season. And he came in and he brought the spark and was able to win games. So you got to give him his credit where credit's due.
I love that. Okay, we know that you are chilling, but you're not just watching the Super Bowl like everybody else. You are in the P&G Battle of the Paddles. This thing gets so competitive, Saquon. It's crazy. I'll be there. I'm hosting the thing. Tell me what you're excited about, what the event is all about. And I know you're going up against like Trevor Lawrence and Jamal Williams.
Yeah, I'm excited. Well, first I'll be representing Gillette. And Gillette's all about building confidence. Gillette's all about looking good, feeling good. Right now, I'm not there. That's why I have this hat on. But before the tournament, I'm going to visit Gillette Labs. I'm going to get a fresh shave, clean shave, so I can go out there and perform at a high level. And I'm excited. I love competing. I started playing table tennis probably 3 or 4 years ago. I was really, really bad, probably one of the worst in the locker room. And I kind of made it a point that I'm going to be really good. So I got up to at least like the top 3, top 4 players on the team. David Sills, who was a Giant before, and Matt Barkley, who was on the team this year, are probably the 2 best that I've seen. Darius Slayton's the best one right now. I'll get him a couple of times, but he's weird. He's a lefty. So he definitely it's hard to play against him. But I'm looking forward to competing. I know Trent Taylor won it last year, so there's a duos part of it. So hopefully I get him on my team so I can get an easy victory there with a title, and also learn a little more about him as my teammate. So if I am able to make it to the finals and he's the guy, I'll know him like a book.
I love that. That's all happening Wednesday the 7th. It's at 8 p.m. Everybody can check it out on Overtime Season's YouTube page live. There's going to be a lot of fun. Saquon's never wanted to talk much, but maybe we'll get you talking. We'll get you talking a little bit. Jamal,
Yeah,
you never know what to expect out of him.
exactly. I'm having a little fun. There's some guys there, like you said, Jamal. Swift's going to be there. Will's going to be there. I know those two personally. So definitely try to get in the head. A little smack talk a little trash. Get in the head. Even if they're a little better than me, if you can play some mental games with these guys, see if they fold.
I love that. And, these table tennis tables are in every locker room across the NFL. So whether it's with the Giants or any of the other 31, they would be lucky to have you, Saquon. Rooting for you, of course.
Thank you so much, always.